What does it feel like to drown? Imagine you're underwater. Not for a swim, not for a dive. You're underwater because you have no choice, and your body's about to walk you through one of the strangest, most misunderstood experiences a human can have. Drowning isn't what movies show you. There's no dramatic splashing, no screaming for help. Real drowning is quiet. It's fast. And biologically, it unfolds in a very specific sequence, written into your body long before you were born. Stage 1. The breath you take before it all begins. It starts with a decision, usually an instinctive one. You take one last breath before going under. Your lungs fill with air, your diaphragm locks in place, and somewhere deep in your brainstem, a very old switch flips on. This switch is called the mammalian diving reflex. It's a survival program shared by whales, seals, and every human being alive. The moment cold water touches your face, your heart rate drops. Blood vessels in your arms and legs constrict, pulling blood away from your limbs and toward your heart and brain. Your body's trying to protect its most important organs, rationing oxygen like a ship going into emergency mode. For a few seconds, this actually feels almost calm. Time slows down. Your pulse slows down. It's your body's ancient, silent attempt to buy you time. Stage 2. The voluntary breath hold. Now the countdown really begins. You're holding your breath voluntarily, consciously refusing to inhale. But here's the part most people get wrong. What makes you desperate to breathe isn't a lack of oxygen. It's a buildup of carbon dioxide. As CO2 accumulates in your bloodstream, it lowers your blood's pH, and chemoreceptors in your brainstem, tiny biological alarm sensors, start firing more and more urgently. This creates the sensation known as air hunger. It's not subtle. It feels like your chest is being squeezed from the inside, like your whole body is screaming one single command: breathe. Your diaphragm starts to spasm involuntarily, contracting again and again, trying to force you to inhale even though your conscious mind knows you can't. Stage 3. The breaking point. Eventually, the CO2 alarm wins. This is the point of no return, biologically speaking. Your body triggers something called laryngospasm. The muscles around your vocal cords slam shut to keep water out of your lungs. It's a protective reflex, but a brutal one. For a short window, you can't inhale water, but you also can't inhale air. You are, in effect, physiologically suffocating even with your mouth wide open. This is often the moment people describe, in the rare cases where they survive to describe it, as the most agonizing part. Not fear, not thought. Just an overwhelming, full-body demand for air that cannot be answered. Stage 4. Water enters. The laryngospasm can't hold forever. As oxygen levels keep falling, the brain's priority shifts from keep water out to get any gas exchange, happening now. The spasm releases and water rushes into the airway. This triggers violent coughing, gagging, and swallowing reflexes. Small amounts of water hitting the vocal cords and lungs cause intense irritation, the same reflex that makes you cough when water goes down the wrong pipe, except now it doesn't stop. Water begins to mix with the surfactant lining your lungs, disrupting the thin chemical layer that keeps your air sacs open. Gas exchange, the fundamental job of breathing, starts to fail at a cellular level. Stage 5. Hypoxia and the fading light. With oxygen levels dropping and carbon dioxide rising, your blood becomes acidic. Your brain, which uses about 20% of your body's oxygen, despite being only 2% of your body weight, begins to suffer first and worst. This is where the experience often takes an unexpected turn. Survivors frequently describe this stage not as pure terror, but as something eerily peaceful, a dreamlike detachment. This isn't mystical, it's neurochemical. As oxygen deprivation deepens, the brain releases endorphins and other neurotransmitters in a final protective effort, and higher order brain regions, the ones responsible for fear, planning, and self-awareness, begin shutting down first. Consciousness narrows, sound distorts, vision tunnels and dims. Some describe seeing light, some describe warmth. This is what's sometimes called hypoxic euphoria, the same phenomenon reported by high-altitude climbers and fighter pilots who black out from oxygen loss. Stage 6, loss of consciousness. Within roughly 1 to 3 minutes of the water entering the lungs, sometimes faster, the brain's oxygen reserves are exhausted enough to cause loss of consciousness. The muscles relax. The body, which may have been thrashing moments earlier, goes still. This is not death yet. It's the brain conserving its last resources, shutting down everything non-essential, the same way a phone dims its screen and closes apps when the battery is nearly gone. Stage 7. Cardiac arrest and cellular silence. Without oxygen, the heart muscle itself begins to fail. Its electrical rhythm becomes erratic, arrhythmia, and eventually stops altogether. Blood, and with it the last traces of oxygen, stops moving. Brain cells, which cannot survive more than a few minutes without oxygen, begin to die. Not all at once, but in waves, starting with the most metabolically demanding regions. This is the true biological endpoint of drowning. Not the water itself, but the silence that follows when oxygen can no longer reach the cells that need it most. A strange, human paradox. Here's what makes drowning so unlike almost every other cause of death: humans' fear. It is, in its final stretch, often not experienced as violent at all. The terror is real, but it's concentrated almost entirely in that middle window: the breath hold, the air hunger, the laryngospasm. What comes after is the nervous system's own act of mercy, a built-in mechanism that, in its final moments, trades panic for a strange, dim calm. It's a reminder of something profound about biology. Our bodies are not just vessels that fail us. Even at the very edge, they are still working, still trying. Rationing blood, slowing the heart, softening the end. Drowning is often called one of humanity's oldest fears, but understanding it cell by cell, reflex by reflex, doesn't make it less tragic. It makes it something else, a window into just how intricately, stubbornly alive we are, right up until the very last second.